a catch, then it's a catch. The problem with the whole catch rule is this. Technology has gotten in the way. The catch rule was not designed for super slow motion, super HD zoom in to catch. Because if you have to do all that, then it's either a catch or not. That's not why we have super slow mo and HD. The reason you have that is to get a better picture, not to critique the game. Everything in the game, again, continuity, things that'll be done repeatedly. You won't ebb and flow. If you have to stop and review everything, you destroy the ebb and flow of the game. Now, you may as well be watching paint dry, because who the hell wants to see some old dude look into a damn booth and look at an instant replay for a minute and a half, 2 minutes, killing the momentum, killing the drive, and then say it's a catch, and then it's not, and then the whole world say it's not a catch. They are simplifying this rule. I don't have all the details because they haven't hammered out all the details, and they should. But with that being said, what they do need to do is change the pass interference rule. Pass interference is they need to bring back the 2 level pass interferences, if you ask me. And what I mean by 2 levels of pass interference is it used to be a rule, face mask and an intentional face mask. Now it's just face mask. An intentional face mask is when you're just moving and it's clear that you grabbed this dude's helmet. Like if you grab him from the back and you're reaching up and you grab his helmet and pull back, you tried to grab his face mask. That was an intentional. That was an automatic 15 yards, so forth and so on. Now, the other instances where you're just running and your hand hits his face mask, that was a 5-yard penalty. They need to modify the rules for pass interference in the same fashion. Pass interference is a spot of the ball penalty. And what that means is you can throw a ball 60 yards down the field, and you and the defensive back are jostling for position. The ball is, if it's in reasonable catch radius, the ref can say pass interference, and wherever that happens, that's where you get the ball. That can be considered pass interference, and in some cases, I get it. If you're egregious with your foul, then yeah, if you knocking the dude down, you bumping and bumping and bumping, and it's a pass interference, call it as a spot foul. But in a lot of cases, guys just throw the ball up, they're jostling, and if it's just a minor infraction, I think that should be a 10 to 15-yard penalty, because there's no way in hell you should be able to have a dude who probably can't catch. You got a lot of guys out here who can't catch footballs that are professional football players. But they're extremely fast. They run down the field 65, 70 yards, and now you've made up 65 yards just because a dude who probably wasn't going to catch the ball got bumped. That needs to be a 10 to 15-yard penalty. So NFL, if you're listening, and I know you are because you guys reference a lot of things that I say on my show, on your shows. So you're listening, go the 2-way again, man. The next thing is Gronk. Rob Gronkowski, the New England Patriots. The New England Patriots are hemorrhaging chaos. This is an institution that used to be tight-lipped, and it's obvious that something is going on. I don't know if it's an issue with the coach Belichick. I don't know if Belichick and Brady. I don't know what's really going on, but Rob Gronkowski is saying, I might retire. Now, Rob Gronkowski is one of the most unstoppable forces in the history of the NFL. And he's saying he and the trainer got into it about how he was going to rehab. So if he's going to get into it with the trainer about rehabbing, I'll quit. According to Rob Gronkowski, he has not cashed one NFL check. So if you got a guy who's not cashed one NFL check, well, he's not spent any of his NFL money, because there are instances where guys have held checks for 5 to 7 years, and they went to the institution to say, hey, we about to cash these checks, and they have like $25 million. That team don't have $25 million at hand, so they had to tell them, pump your brakes, let us get some money in the account. But Rob Gronkowski has managed his money well, and he's ready to quit. I don't know if this is mutiny against Belichick, but this may be a situation that happened with the Seattle Seahawks. And as I move forward, as we move forward, we'll continue to update you on this Gronk thing. We're going to keep it pumping because we really don't have a whole lot of details on that. The next thing is Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant has foot in the mouth disease. He put his foot in his mouth and talked all that trash about he ain't taking no pay cut, yada, yada, yada. It's getting close. It's becoming the 11th hour. and people know that they're going to drive on Dez and say, let's get this money up out you. Dez, you need to have your agent contact all other 31 teams. Well, actually, the other 30 teams in the league, because you got the Cowboys and the Patriots who damn sure ain't going to pay you. But there's 30 other teams that may be able to use you, Dez. You need to have them contact them and see if they need a dude who can only run a few routes, who's relatively fast and can be a number one receiver. If they're going to pay you more than what the Cowboys ask you to take, you tell them, put on your flip-flops, kick rocks. Otherwise, Dez, you're going to have to take a 60% haircut, and they cutting into your bread. And if you do that, you, my friend, are a damn fool. I ain't trying to hear that. I ain't trying to hear that under no circumstances. You have to be crazy. Football is far too dangerous for anybody to be talking about taking a pay cut for nonsense. But you put yourself in this trick bag, see if you can get yourself out, Houdini. Speaking of Houdini, Blake Bortles is one of the worst quarterbacks in the NFL over the last 3 years, and somehow he's pulled off a magic trick and got them to give him an extension. Now, this is why I tell you people all the time, stop telling these guys to take a pay cut for the damn ring, because that's stupid. Blake Bortles is a legitimate scrub. Now, is he a better quarterback than your boy? Yeah. But I don't play in the NFL, so I can call him a scrub because I've seen him play like one. Blake Bortles has got an extension. Now, I understand they gave him an extension because they were going to have to pay him $19 million this year. They turned that $19 million into a 3-year extension, so they spread that $19 million over 3 years. Kind of crazy, but they saved themselves a lot of money so they can add even more talent to an already talented team. Now, this is why I say it's crazy, because Blake Bortles has established himself as a guy who does not make good decisions. He overthrows, he underthrows, and that could have been due to injuries, but due to injuries that he's rehabbing. But at the end of the day, I'm not giving him that money. I would have given it to another one of these quarterbacks that's coming down the pipe. Speaking of quarterbacks that come down the pipe, why didn't they try? The one thing that was smart, they got themselves out of the Kirk Cousins lottery. This is the worst lottery in the history of the world, because Kirk Cousins is a rat fart better than Blake Bortles. Blake Bortles is a bum, and Kirk Cousins is a homeless man. What's really the difference? This dude is not good, and now he's about to become the highest paid quarterback in NFL history. People, this is what I keep telling you. You got the haves and the have-nots. You got people that's paying a lot of money, and they're going to keep talking, Kirk Cousins. And at the same time, they're tricking you by not paying these other guys anything. You want Dez Bryant to take a pay cut in Dallas, but you want Kirk Cousins, who has yet to win one playoff game, who's yet to do anything positive when it counts. He's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league when it counts, but you're going to make him the highest paid player in the league. The irony is there's a bidding war between Arizona, Minnesota, Denver, and Cleveland for an average quarterback. How is it? That's like having a bidding war over Steve Kerr. The NBA is scrapping over Steve Kerr. That's what it is, because he's an average quarterback on his best day. This is why I keep telling people, don't read the stats to me. Watch the game. And when you watch the game, you see when it's third and whatever, Kirk Cousins is overthrowing, underthrowing, or hitting wide open linebackers or defensive backs. He's not a good football player. He's average. He's the ultimate backup quarterback. His stats says he's better, but I promise you he's not. Speaking of taking a pay cut, Jarvis Landry is up for he was drafted. He was coming out of LSU, one of the better wide receivers in the league over the last 3 years, with very mediocre quarterbacking abilities. And now Jarvis Landry has been franchise tagged, which means he'll get $14 million. Shout out to Jarvis Landry for the $14 million. Because he's getting the $14 million, he's unhappy. And I told you guys, the franchise tag does not give you financial stability or security. But they want to trade him. They don't want to keep him. They want to trade him. Again, when you're no longer useful, Tavon Austin, and Rams, you got to go. This is why you need to stop telling your favorite player to take a pay cut to win a Super Bowl. He's won the Super Bowl of life. You want him to be the best player possible? Stay out of his financials. You just want to root for the team. Don't let the team bamboozle you. But they're getting rid of Jarvis Landry, which leads me to another situation. The Minnesota Vikings. They have Case Keenum that quarterbacked them all the way, third-string quarterback that quarterbacked them all the way to the NFC Championship game. You got Teddy Bridgewater outside of Case Keenum, the only Viking quarterback in the last few years. Case Keenum, Brett Favre, and Teddy Bridgewater, only 3 Viking quarterbacks to take them to the playoffs. But at the same time, this dude lost the playoff game due to a kicker. How is it that you want to – nobody's talking about Teddy Bridgewater. Nobody's talking about Case Keenum, but we're talking about Captain Average, Kirk Cousins. I don't get it. I really don't get it because Kirk Cousins made it to the playoffs and stunk the joint up. How is it that you're talking about making Kirk Cousins the highest paid quarterback in NFL history, but nobody's talking about Teddy Bridgewater? Arizona, Cleveland, Jacksonville, get Case Keenum or Teddy Bridgewater on the phone, offer them some money, and win you a Super Bowl. Teddy Bridgewater, you need to go to Cleveland the first day of the new year on the 12th of March and tell them, give me that money, I'm going to get you to the Super Bowl. Because if they draft Saquon Barkley, it's on. Speaking of the NFL draft, the Combine is this week. And as usual, I told you guys this 2 weeks ago, with the bros, they always yelling, his accuracy is not where it needs to be. I've never seen a quarterback in all the time I've been watching the NFL come into the league with proper accuracy. Not Joe Montana, not John Elway, not Dan Marino, not Warren Moon, and not anybody else and anybody in between. Johnny Unitas on up to the dude who's going to get drafted in a few weeks. So to say Lamar Jackson has accuracy issues, it could be nothing other than racial. Chris Sims, who's a relative quarterback guru, came out yesterday and said Bill Polian is crazy for telling Lamar Jackson he should be a wide receiver. The reason he's crazy for that is this. I honestly believe it was a test. They offered him the wide receiver position to see if he was focused on being a quarterback. If he would have took the bait, then they'd have said, he's not serious. We don't want him on our team. Lamar is using it the way he should use it and saying, I'm going to do what I'm here to be a quarterback. And Lamar, if they don't draft you, please go to Canada and never look back. Look up Marcus Allen, have him talk to his brother Damian Allen, and see how he won those championships. You may not get $100 million, but if you get $50 million, you'll be all right, man. And with that being said, man, thanks to everybody for listening. Thanks to Coach Williams for being on the show. Thanks for the unknown caller who didn't say anything. Much love. Much love and respect for listening in. I want to thank everybody throughout the world who's been listening. Y'all know who I'm going to shake it down. Russia, Korea, China, Fiji, the Philippines, Norway, the United Kingdom, Canada, and of course here in the United States, the consistent listeners, my main man Joe in Houston, Phyllis in Virginia, James in California, Nas in Atlanta, Chris from Atlanta, the people who just been reaching out to me throughout the show. One of the bros from Corliss High School, assistant Coach Jay, assistant coach at Corliss High School. They're gonna kill it. And much love to everybody. And I gotta say, shout out to my muse, Ding Ding, always listening, keeping your boy right. 2 fingers, 1 word. I'm finna get out. Y'all already know what time it is.